Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you with another new chapter of Gundam Seed Soldier. And I'm back, with this on another chapter of this series. To be honest, I'm glad to be back with this story. I know, because once again, it's not my most popular story, I'm aware. But I love doing it because I put passion behind this one just as much more than I do other stories, and I'm actually aware of that, to be honest. I think it's because, I really love Seed, and I mean I really do. Unlike series like that of High School DxD and that of Sword Art Online, series that have so much potential but wasted it nearing the end. But for Gundam Seed, on the other hand, it had so much potential and half of it was done right, while the other half was basically utterly shit, especially the characters and the motivations of many of the characters as well, and how the story basically goes on, which irritates the fuck out of me, instead of it basically being thought-provoking or trying to make you think about how the world works and everything like that. Like how other Gundam series likes to do so, instead of, I don't know, the main character's on one side. If you're not with the main character, you're basically evil. Then, kind of pisses me off how C basically just does that. So, little rant out of the way. Let's do that of a short recap. In the last chapter, Eren returned back to that of the Archangel. However, turns out his welcome wasn't that, warming, to be honest. Given that, Nataro didn't like the fact that they had to wait on him for basically that of 3 days. And Kira, and basically his preaching ass, believed that Eren is basically treating war and battle as that of a game, instead of treating it like it's serious as it should be. With that, Eren basically slugged Kira in the face. Within, it seems like the relationship is diving down even deeper, with Eren basically coming to the realization that everything that he does, no matter how positive it seems and how much it basically helps them, it's always seen in that of a negative light, even though he truly does care about all their well-beings and making sure that many people can survive in the process instead of risking their lives for nothing, which soon leads to Eren having that of a mental breakdown until Flay was there to catch him when he needed it the most. Even though she is starting to fall for him, Eren, on the other hand, will not fall for her. However, it seems that drama continues to set afoot, even though Eren wants to stay away from it as far as he can. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Also, a bit of a heads up. Personally, I am basically going to breeze through a certain incidents through Seed, actually. These incidents being, you guys will have to see for yourselves. So, with all that said, let's resume the story. Chapter 8, Ununified Team. Currently on that of the Archangel, in that of the Hangar Bay, Eren is currently in that of the Strife Gundam, where he's doing that of simulations just like he would do on that of the Loveless Gundam as well, with the simulation being a battle that is coming up in the coming weeks, that being the battle with Andrew Welfelt, the Welfelt Company, and with the help of that of the Desert Dawn and the Archangel crew. However, the battle is going to be amped up a lot more with it as the Strife Gundam is on its custom meteor hopper, with having that of the Dantalian knife in his hands, dragging it across the sand, creating that of a dust cloud to obscure the enemy's formation and wandering and his allies as well, so the enemy will not know on where they are at. With then a few Bukus going into that of the dust cloud. However, little did they know, that they were soon picked off one by one by the Strife Gundam and the Strike as well, with then a few helicopters helping out in the cleanup as well. But the ones doing the most damage and helping out more is that of the Strife and the Strike, as Eren soon swings the Dentalian knife more and more, destroying more and more Bukus heading its way, with then soon a beam shot coming straight at Eren's Strife, within him tilting his head to dodge it, within going full throttle, escaping that of the dust cloud, within seeing that of the duel. However, the duel is in its assault sheen armor form, with a drill gun on the right side of its shoulder and that's of multiple missile pods on the left, with it having a more armored base after all. Within shooting as the copy of Izit continues to shoot multiple beam shots from the railgun, within Eren using its shield knuckle on his left side to dodge each and every one of the shots. However, on his side being that of the Buster Gundam as well, with then Eren dodging each and every one of those shots from the scatter shots and from the armor-piercing shots too, within maneuvering using the meteor hopper, as soon he jumps into the air, with then seeing that of again coming right at him, as he brings out one of his spare beam sabers and slices right through the Gin without breaking a sweat, as then he soon throws the Dentalian knife, basically piercing one of the Gins coming right at him, before switching to his twin sword beam rifle, aiming at that of both Izek and Dirka's mobile suits, as both the Buster and the Duel were taking shots due to their phase shift armor, of course. However, little do they know, each of those shots are weakening it down, allowing that of the Loveless Gundam to soon appear, being controlled by that of Alleluia, and having that of well-placed shots, weakening their phase shift armor even more before destroying both of them at the exact same time. With the Gundams out of the way, all that remains is Andrew Welfelt's Lego, seeing the orange custom-made Buku, with then Andrew Welfelt shooting that of multiple beam shots right at the Strife as it continues to fall down. However, using the thrusters to speed his descent back down before spinning and flipping to land, before bringing out the Dentalian knife, as soon the Lego continues shooting that of beam shots before it brings out its beam saber claws, as it heads straight for the Strife, within using the Dentalian knife, basically catching it off guard, within Eren completely and utterly overwhelmed with the strength, within realizing, I up the difficulty. This is basically Andrew Welfelt at his prime. However, without realizing it, soon Guy shows up, and that's of the Gundam Astray Blue Frame, as he has that of his giant as his beam bazooka, with then shooting that of multiple beam shots from the massive beam cannon, with then stepping away, with soon giving that of Kira an opening for the Strife, as having one of his beam sabers to slice right through the Lego, within stepping back, within soon shooting that of multiple shots towards that of Kira, with his phase shift armor dimming down bit by bit, with then Eren seeing the perfect opportunity, as soon he screams out, "Let's go! Genova Burst System, engage!" With then soon, as the Alea Vinyana Unlimiter basically releases from the Strife. However, infused with that of a semi-used Trans-Am system, as then a bluish-like aura begins to erupt around that of the Strife, Before then, the red eyes showing that of the Alea Vinyana on at basically pushed past the Gundam's limit, turns from a red to that of a light teal green, with then soon rushing and that's a full speed without even breaking a sweat, grabbing that of the Buster Rifle of the Meteor Hopper, with then carrying both overwhelming weapons in both hands. With then seeing this, the Andrew Welfelt begins to charge back at that of Eren before dodging around, with each and every slash coming straight for that of the strife, as each cut pierces right through its legs, arms. However, no matter how much damage it does, it almost seems like the parts are basically self-regenerating, with then soon, and that's of a look of that of the devil staring straight at the Lego, bringing down the massive great sword down onto the Lego, piercing one of its wings, and even severing parts of its front left leg as it steps back before it trips a little bit, thanks to that of the blue frame with multiple shots bringing it down, with before then soon charging up the Buster Rifle, with then firing as then destroying the entirety of the Lego in one final blast, with then soon it's on the screen of Eren's cockpit saying simulation complete, putting up that of total, with then soon as the numbers begin to rise, with then soon Eren taking that of a deep breath, saying, it's like all I can do is basically do simulations and training for the coming battles. Because to be honest, it's kind of annoying as hell, especially for the past 2 days have been for me, with then Eren basically holding the control spears of his Gunpla, with then remembering the past days. For example, when arriving into the town of Tassel, and one of the remaining towns that basically are against Zaf being in their territories. However, they were just much as against that of the Atlantic Federation and the Eurasian Federation being in their territories, and yet they didn't do anything about that due to their fear basically coming down on them from either one of them. But yet they want to go against that of coordinators, which is basically a subtle form of racism in a way, given that they're basically against more coordinators than they are that of natural humans, which again is ridiculous. Arriving to the Desert Dawn's HQ, some of them, a few, let's just say Nataro and Mu alongside that of Narumi, wanted answers on why that of the Princess of Orb was here fighting with that of with supposed resistance fighters. Within the leader of the Desert Dawn, Saki Bashman, basically says that it's a favor, and she was a person that wanted to help us out of her own free will. With then hearing that, all of the three leaders of the Archangel couldn't help but think that that's ridiculous. With then, however, let's also bring the fact that they also wanted to know about that of Guy, with then Guy giving his explanation, with him saying, the name is Guy Morikumo. In case you were wondering, yes, I'm a coordinator, with then looking at the tan skin, glasses wearing man, with then saying, but I'm also a mercenary, with then soon Nataro basically curious saying, why would you go against your own people? Why would you even defect? With then soon Guy saying, let's just say both the plants and the Alliance don't really follow the same ideas that they used to. And given on how many coordinators have called for quite a bit of death for that of naturals, yeah, let's just say I'm not too interested in being a soldier for a bunch of radicalists. And in case you're wondering why I'm here, well, about that of a couple months ago, I procured the mobile suit that you saw being the Gundam Astray blue frame about that of a year ago. I was originally contracted by that of the Eurasian Federation here in Africa to support the base here in the Northern Territories, being a tank battalion. However, Andrew Welfelt wanted to bust out his newest and latest mobile suit, a new model of the Bukus called the Legos. And let's just say the guy destroyed me and put me on and basically pushed me to retreat. Because of that, I lost my contract and I was forced to leave for the time being. During that time, I was going against that of a private, mercenary company that's, mainly neutral in everything, called the Junk Guild. With Moose saying Junk Guild. Oh yeah, I've heard of those guys. They're mainly a scrapping company that gathers, desolate war fields and gain pieces so they can sell on the black market. With then hearing that, Nataro saying, seriously? How despicable. Basically going through that of graveyards of battlefields and scouring through their corpses. With then Sue, guy saying, I wouldn't say that, Lieutenant. They mostly just go after that of mobile suit parts that they can use to sell to that of the plants, the Alliance, and also Orb as well. Turns out, they found something that's actually quite something amazing. The things that led to the mobile suit that I have, it's basically the basis for your little G weapon project. With then hearing that, Narumi saying, you're joking. There's no way. The Alliance alongside that of Morgan Reed made that design themselves. With then soon, guy couldn't help but laugh, saying, yeah, tell yourself that. Orb was developing mobile suits long before that of the Atlantic Federation asked Morgan Reed and Orb to help out. The only problem is that Orb may be technologically advanced, but when it comes to funding though, it's still a small island nation, mainly formed from former territories that were made from Japan and also that of abandoned territories from that of Australia, which is now owned by that of Zaft, if I recall and remember. Within hearing this, Nataro couldn't help but grit her teeth before then Narumi saying, as much as I hate to hear it, I guess that it makes sense. So how did you? I found it in that of a scrap heap. Several of the prototypes being called the Strays have been basically scattered all across the world. Originally, the Junk Guild were able to find a red frame. I was hired by a few Zap pilots to retrieve it. But seeing that it wasn't really worth the problem, I abandoned it. So I decided to come back to Northern Africa, see if I can have that of another duel with Andrew Welfelt before heading to another job. Little did I know, a certain little freedom fighting group decided to go against that of the Zaf-controlled occupied territory here. So I thought, I'm going to need a place to stay and some way to refuel my mobile suit and somehow. So why not work with the freedom fighters? I've been working with them for at least that of a month or two. And seeing that you're all here, it looks like our job would be a lot more easier. Especially with many rumors that a certain little mobile suit, that the Alliance gained that of one powerful ass mobile suit that's not just fast, but also destructive as well. But I should say too now, soon, the three Alliance soldiers couldn't help but basically look nervous. Before then, Moo spoke up saying, that's not actually the truth. I mean, it is true that those mobile suits are working with us, but they're not owned by us. I'm more surprised that you don't know about it, given that you're a mercenary. With then, soon Guy raising an eyebrow over his shades. With then, Kagali saying, it only makes sense. Orb was the one to basically develop that mobile suits. Especially and hearing that they're basically owned by that of mercenaries, it makes me sick even more seeing how much my home, or either my father basically gave in to giving mobile suits to even that of random mercenaries. With then soon, Nataro couldn't help but actually laugh. With soon, Kagali utterly annoyed, saying, what are you laughing at? Within soon, a man right beside her, being pretty buff and also quite fit for his size and age, with that of tan skin and brunette hair and that of brown hair, saying, Kagali, with her saying, sorry, but I believe that your information is quite wrong. If anything, the Loveless and the Strife were not created by Orb, but was created by the very mercenary company that you just insulted. Within hearing that, Kagali was actually utterly annoyed before being shocked as well, saying, but that's impossible. The only people capable of having technology like that is that of people in Orb, especially in Morgan Reet. There's no way that those mobile suits aren't developed by Orb. With then Natural basically speaking up, saying, unfortunately, ma'am, but it is true. We were even told so by the very pilot of both mobile suits themselves. With then soon hearing that, Kagali saying, is that so? Well then, I'll be getting the information myself. With then Kagali walking out as Sahi saying, Kagali. With then soon the man standing beside her, known as Kisika, saying, I'll go keep an eye on her. Besides, information like that is quite important. Hopefully the young man is willing to talk about it. With then soon, Nataro couldn't help but say, unlikely. He's quite stubborn. With then Moose saying, oh boy. But he probably will give her at least some information, just not much. With then Guy speaking of saying, speaking of, you say that they were created by a mercenary company. Which mercenary company by any chance? With then soon Narumi saying, I'm surprised you don't know them. They're called Avalanche. With then Guy having that of a raised eyebrow saying, Avalanche? I've never heard of them before. With then soon all three soldiers couldn't help but have eyes widening in shock, saying, you mean you haven't heard of Avalanche? With then saying, no, none of us have. With then Sahi speaking up, saying, Mr. Morikumo is telling the truth. If we knew about a group of mercenaries that have that of mobile suits like them, we would have hired them to help us out to take out the Desert Tiger, and also that of the White Fox and her white fangs as well. But instead, we had to rely on Mr. Guy and his Gundam Stray Blue, and we need your aid. We're not happy about it, but it cannot be done unless we need to free these lands from Zaf-controlled territory. Hearing this, soon Narumi, Nataro, and Mu couldn't help but nod, saying, we will aid you in what we can, but we still need to go back to that of Alaska. Within Sahi saying, you need to go to Joshe. I believe it only makes sense since that is the military HQ of the Alliance after all. We will aid you, but we need your help to defeat the Desert Tiger. Until that happens, just to let you know that some people still here also had to deal with that, the Alliance as well, since all of this began with this war, with all of them. Just to let you know, even though you're our allies, you're not completely welcome here. After saying that, they all were completely and utterly, unnerved about that. With then soon, a couple minutes later, Kagali comes to that of the Archangel, with then Aaron basically getting out of his bed, with Flay still under the sheets. However, she still is fully clothed because, again, they just sleep together. They didn't sleep together after all. As then, looking back at Flay, for a split second, he couldn't help but smile, internally think, thanks, Flay. Thanks for being here. With then closing the door, within soon Flay opening her eyes, saying, it wasn't what I wanted, but I think I enjoyed it, to be honest. Just being near him is soothing. and I like it a lot. With then snuggling back up into the covers. With then Aaron looking through his GP base. With then soon saying, "Hallelujah, Akihiko. Let's get some training done." Now knowing that this is basically an AU universe, we need to basically prepare for anything that could happen. No more kid gloves. Just basically do what we can do. Within Akihiko saying, "Roger that." Within Ali saying, "Got it. So, how are we going to do this? We're facing against a desert tiger. That means no holding back. I'm going to be mainly using that of the Strife Gundam to be fighting against that bastard. Guy's a good guy, really, but if I hold back against him, he's going to kill me. And not only that, I want to find some ways to make sure that he stays alive alongside that of Aisha. Because seriously, it's such a waste. After all, when she died, Andrew Welfelt both lost an arm and an eye and couldn't pilot a mobile suit ever again. Plus, there was that failed relationship that that the series was trying to build with him and Narumi after her losing Mu, which again didn't mean shit given that Mu somehow survived a Lohengrin cannon from the Strife when the Strike was already at its last limbs. After all, for God's sake, Destiny really did do a lot of shit wrong alongside Seed as well. So I'm gonna find some ways to keep the guy alive. With his attention on me, that would be a lot more easier to do so. Then soon, Akihiko saying, "Not really much on keeping people alive, but I can at least try. I'll follow your lead as always, boss." Then Aaron couldn't help but smile, saying, "Thanks, Akihiko." Then soon, hearing somebody walking through the hallways, he soon closes his GP base to his AIs before putting his GP base back in his pocket, saying, "Hello?" Then realizing, shit, Kagali. And not only that, Colonel Kisaka as well. Great. Guess I'm gonna have to deal with being interrogated by the arrogant princess. Within putting on that of a neutral look on his face instead of the pissed off look, saying, Hello there, Kagali Eula Atha. How can I help you?" Then soon, she's also still pissed the fact that her identity was basically already told by everybody in front of her, and still realize that this is the same guy that also has the information about the very Gundams that are in the hangar as well, that she's curious about, saying, "I want information. Where did you get those mobile suits of yours?" Then saying, "Fuck, I didn't realize it was that." Then saying, "Okay then, first you need to introduce yourself before I introduce myself. Would you be able to do that, Miss Princess? Or is that asking too much?" Then soon Kagali saying, "Stop being a smartass. Stop being an asshole." Then she's saying, "You!" as she was about to punch Aaron in the face. Then Aaron basically dodging out of the way, saying, "Look, if this is how you basically ask for information, let's just say, don't bother. Seriously, come back if you're not going to be a bitch." Then passing right through that of Kagali, with her as she was then looking at the massive man that is Colonel Kisaka, then saying, then saying, "Allow me to apologize for Miss Kagali's words. Please, we do have words we wish to ask you." Then soon, Kagali saying, "Kisaka," saying, "Lady Kagali, please, you say you wanted information. Demanding it isn't going to help us." Then, hearing this, Aaron couldn't help but be completely caught off guard, saying, seriously, Kisaka is acting a lot more respectful. Normally, when it comes to Kagali, either her being disrespected or basically her in danger, he'll do anything to protect her. But he's actually being a lot more respectful towards me. Well, I guess that actually proves that he's actually a soldier instead of, just her typical meathead or a guy that basically has a high ranking instead. Then Sood saying, "Sure, I'll listen to what you have to say, and I'll tell you some things that I can tell you, and those I can't. Colonel Ladona Kissica, with then the tan-skinned man couldn't help but also smirk, saying, "So you do know about me as well." Shouldn't be surprised. Please, come. Is there anywhere we could talk in private? With then saying, "Let's go outside. I think it's best we do that." With then soon Kagali saying, "Are you serious, Kissica?" Saying, "Lady Kagali, please." With then soon Aaron wanted to have that of a smirk on her on his face, but already annoyed. In fact, he doesn't want to get more annoyed at her being irritated after all for no reason. With then Kagali basically walking after them, with heading outside of the Archangel, and that's of a pretty and a place on there's quite a bit of shade around, with outside of the town of Tassel, with Finn saying, "Why wait out? Why come all the way out here?" Saying, "So nobody can basically talk to us and distract us. So, what do you want to know?" Within Kagali was about to answer once again, but then soon Kissica stand in front of her saying, "First, can you tell me your name?" Saying, "Sure, the name's Ace." With then saying, "That's it? It's what I was given by my mercenary company. I don't know my real name." With then soon Kagali saying, "Is that even true?" Saying, "Believe it or not, it is." With then Aaron saying, "God, I gotta keep up this damn lie about me not knowing my real identity. It's really annoying as hell. But I gotta keep it going as much as I can." With Kissica and Kagali hearing this, with then saying, "All right then, my apologies. But as for my main question is, those mobile suits in the hangar of the Archangel, tell me, is it true, did you get those mobile suits from Orb?" Or then saying, "Figures as much. I knew that was what you guys were asking for. No, those mobile suits do not belong to Orb. They belong and are the property of the mercenary group Avalanche. Avalanche owns those mobile suits, given that I'm the one that built them myself." With then hearing that, Kagali saying, "I call bullshit. There's no way in hell you, a teenager, saying, I'm sorry, last time I checked, aren't you 2 years younger than me, Miss Kagali?" With then saying, with then soon Kiska saying, "Please, let's get on track. Tell me, you say you built those mobile suits yourself. How did you?" With then saying, "Well, I won't lie. We did. The mercenary company I'm part of, known as Avalanche, we're a mercenary company that was founded by a former director of the Atlantic Federation of the Earth Alliance military. He goes by the name Reed Tawesti. Honestly, I think it's just that of an alias. As for his real name, I'm not sure. Just like Orb, he's basically a man that didn't believe in the ideas of coordinators and naturals, and basically seeing no difference between them. To him, he saw all naturals and coordinators as human beings, the same way I do. So he decided to abandon the Atlantic Federation, founded his own mercenary company, and basically hired people like-minded just like him, to be honest, who don't see natural and coordinator." With then hearing that, Kagali saying, Is that even true? I've never heard of a person from the Atlantic Federation who thinks like that." With then Kissica saying, "Neither have I, but there's always been a weird amount of people here, and seeing that that Mr. Yamato is part of the Archangel crew, it would make somewhat sense." With then soon Kagali saying, saying, "Oh yeah, you actually punched Kira. I guess we're both in the same boat here, actually." With then saying, "You punched him too? Why did you?" "Because the bastard see me as playing in the conflict as that of a game." With then soon hearing that, she remembers when the strife showed up, realizing that is right. Did you see that battlefield as? And if you say I said this as a game, then I want you to shut the hell up. Cheat, daughter of Daughter of Orbit's chief representative, my ass. I don't want to hear it. I've already had to deal with the dumbass brat himself. I don't need to hear it from a stuck-up princess like you either. With then, hearing that, Kagali was completely dumbfounded and shocked being called like that. Within Kisaka narrowing his eyes at Eren. Within soon, Eren's taking a deep breath saying, look, it is way too early for this shit. Can you just continue your questions and I'll continue on the questions I can answer? Within, the tan-skinned man continued saying, of course. As for you say you build those mobile suits yourself, designed them, blueprinted them, and made them as well. It's just the parts that I needed help getting. For example, I did get some parts from that of the Margin Reeds, but they were purposely ordered by them entirely. Some parts I did get from the black market as well, and some I got from that of the plants too. Sure, it was hard to get them during that of times of war, but when you have somebody that has quite a bit of money, and since the plants are still hurting for a bit of money too, due to their reliance on everything that they do in their colonies, after all, so it only makes sense that we would have to change up a little bit, and the plants would be desperate for cash. To be fair, with then hearing all of this, Kagali saying, so you did order things from plants, and if you're asking if your father was involved in this construction of me making the mobile suit, no. He doesn't know anything about both the Loveless and the Strife. All of it done by me and me alone. So it has so my mobile suits have nothing to do with Orb, nothing to do with your little, grudge against your father. Because within saying, it's not a grudge. Don't you get it? If you basically understand what Orb is about, then you know that that we basically pride ourselves on our neutrality. That we will not get involved with other people's wars, that we only attack if we are attacked back. That is how it always is. And yet my father, Chief Representative Afa, didn't betray Orb's ideals. He was betrayed behind your back. Then soon hearing that, both Kagali and Kisaka were shocked, saying, let's just say the reason on why Morgan Reed and the Alliance Federation worked together on building that of the Gundams on Heliopolis was because of a certain member of the ruling family of Orb, a certain family that wanted the data from that of mobile suits, while also giving the same data back to the Alliance at the same time as that of a fair trade. Two families, for example, one of those families you're pretty familiar with. I'm pretty sure you know them as the Saracen family. Within hearing the name, Kagali couldn't help but have their eyes widen. Within, soon, Eren continued saying, and the other family is the one who actually approved it behind your father's back entirely. The family that wants Orb to be the most powerful nation in the entirety of the Earth sphere, that being the Sahaku family. With then, Kisaka, hearing that name, couldn't help but narrow his eyes in that of annoyance, aware on how the current head of the Sahaku family has been acting, especially the person that's supposed to be the heir of the family as well, Girin Sahaku. Within Kagali scream out, then how? How do you know all this? Why hasn't Avalanche said anything? Why didn't you? Within saying, the words of a mercenary company that nobody knows about over the words of basically one of your most influential families out in your entire nation. Who you think people are going to believe the most? With then soon Kagali was about to say, even so, you could at least try. Within Kisaka saying, he's right, Kagali. Within soon Kagali looking at her bodyguard / caretaker. Within saying, Kisaka, saying, he's absolutely right. One mercenary company that nobody knows about, that basically acts in secretive and helps, is not going to change anything. If anything, it would just be that of pointless allegations without proof. Within Kagali exploding once again, but what about the G-weapons? Heliopolis? What about all the data back in Morgan Reed? Hell, what about that bastard Morikumo's Gundam mobile suit as well? That looks exactly like that of a mobile suit made from Orb. Saying, oh yeah, the Astrays were basically the very first mobile suits that the Sahaku family were creating in private, and was also the data behind the reason on why the G weapons look exactly like that of the Astrays. They're basically the blueprints for all the Gundams. With then soon hearing that, Kagali couldn't help but say, it can't be. So really, Father didn't know about any of this because it was done behind his back and secretive. Just because he's the chief representative, that doesn't mean he knows everything. People are willing to basically back deals behind his back. That's how politics work, Kagali. With then saying, damn it. With Sue, Kisaka couldn't help but sigh, saying, sorry you had to hear about this in this way, Kagali, but the boy is telling the truth. This is how politics are. So politicians are willing to even go behind their leaders' backs if it means that they can get either money or their own goals and aspirations in their own way. With then, Kagali couldn't help but slam her fist on that of the side of the archangel, saying, damn it! Damn it! With then Aaron saying, look, I gave you the information you wanted, and that's all. With then Kagali saying, I have a question for you, and this is my own personal question. Saying, and I swear to God, if you really think, saying, I'm not going to complain about you on the battlefield, but I am going to ask this. What's your purpose? What's your reasoning for fighting with the Alliance if you know all of this? With then Aaron couldn't help but sigh, saying, my reasoning is I side with those who I can trust, and I trust the people on the Archangel. If it was any other captain or any other person from the Alliance, outside of that of Rear Admiral Hal Burton in the Alliance, anyone else, I would basically leave them for dead. Same thing also goes for the plants too. They're no different. Both Zaf and the Alliance are all the same to me. They all want to kill both either coordinators or naturals. And Orb, with him basically taking one deep sigh, saying, you all may be neutral, but let's face it, you're not all really united. You all don't want the same thing. You all say you want to preserve basically Orb's neutrality, but let's face the facts. In reality, all of you want one thing or another. Some of you want to support the Alliance. Some of you want to support the plants, while some of you believe that Orb should rule the entire Earth sphere as a whole. Simple as that. And I can't trust Orb either. Avalanche will continue being their own thing, continue being even if I'm the last member and the last pilot, I'll still continue to fight for a better world where nobody has to die a pointless and painless death just for other people's goals and dreams, when they should fight for their own goals and dreams instead. After saying that, Aaron soon leaves. Soon Kagali couldn't help but think, is he right? Is Orb really that divided? Kisaka. Soon Kisaka couldn't help but sigh, saying, I wouldn't say we're completely divided. It's just that he is right. Everyone has their own motives and their own reasonings for continuing to lead Orb their own way. Your father's the only person that's basically keeping things on track as they are now. And now with the situation that has happened, he's most likely going to use that of a bad situation and make it in Orb's gain. Kagali saying, I hate this. I hate it so much that this is how the world is. It sickens me. Kisuke saying, that's just how the world is, after all. Soon the two head back to Tassel and the Desert Dawn HQ as well. several days after that little meeting with that of Kagali and Kisaka, Eren has constantly been training day in and day out in that of the Strife and the Loveless, but mainly in the Strife, wanting to prepare for the coming battles, after all, especially including that of the data, knowing that Guy and also he has his Gundams here at the same time as well, which their chances of winning are 5 times better than they were in canon, after all, given that the Archangel is going against an entire battalion, and sure, the Desert Dawn helps out, but let's face it, they're basically nothing but cannon fodder, to be honest. The only reason that they're here is mostly for Kagali, and also so the Archangel can gain that of supplies, even if it has to come from that of the black market. Within soon thinking about this while still finally finishing up that of another training session. With then soon looking down, as he about to leave that to the cockpit, he soon sees Flay right next to him saying, "Here," as offering that of a water bottle, saying, "Thanks, Flay. Really appreciate it." With then she's smiling in that of joy. With then soon many of the hangar crew members couldn't help but see the reaction between that of Eren and Flay. With one of them could help but say, "Damn, seriously, kid's been here only for a couple days and he already looks like he has a girlfriend." With one of them say, "Hey, isn't she supposed to be with Sai though?" With one of them also saying, "Yeah, guess it must be rough for Sai, being already broken up by his fiance." Within Murdoch saying, "Hey, if you idiots have time to gossip and rant, then you idiots can get back to work." With then soon all of them saying, "Yes, Chief Murdoch." With then Kojiro looking back at Eren and Flay, saying, "If anything, I'm more worried about Kira. It was pretty obvious that kid had a crush on that girl. And seeing the relationship between Ace and Kira now, I'm told Sai is the worst of that kid's problems." With then, as Eren is heading back to his room, with soon Flay saying, "So you really can't give your mobile suit to anyone else or let anyone else pilot them at the same time?" Saying, "Sorry, can't. If I do so, nobody can access the mobile suits without this." Within showing his GP base, it's literally the key and the power source for the cockpits. Anyone else who tries to use them won't even be able to control it. If anything, in the cockpit, it's nothing but just a seat and that of a table stand before this takes the place, to be fair. With then hearing all this, Flay saying, "That's a real shame. I think, Lieutenant Commander LaFlaga was really looking forward to piloting it." With then soon Eren couldn't help but say, "I can tell. He could still pilot the Sky Grasper. However, the mobile suits can work on their own without any support, without me even being in them. After all, they have AI in them." With then saying, "Oh, right. I think I remember when you first came on board the Archangel. Didn't your mobile suit go well?" With then Eren saying, "Yeah, that was Alleluia. The AI of the Loveless. He wouldn't have stand down unless he found out that I was okay. And if I wasn't, who knows, he would have probably destroyed the entirety of the ship, along with it and me on board." With then soon thinking, "I am so glad that I ended up on the Archangel. Anyone else, definitely Alleluia would destroy this ship if I was taken or even killed off already." Within Flay saying, "I'm glad that didn't happen though." Saying, "Definitely." With soon entering the cafeteria together, with then seeing that both Tola, Moralia, Kuzi, and also Sai are in that of the cafeteria alongside that of Kira. As they notice the doors opening, soon both Kira and Sai were actually, angry looking at Eren. With then soon, Toll on the other hand, oblivious to what's going on right now, saying, "Hey, you Flay, Ace, you guys about to eat?" With then saying, "Yeah, I am. Just finished up training in that of the strife." With then soon, Toll saying, "So can't believe we got. Not only we have that of 2 mobile suits, we now have 3. I can't believe it." Honestly, if anything, I was actually excited that maybe, well, one of us could pilot it. I was thinking, but it looks like within soon, Aaron saying, "Not a chance," as all of them were shocked. With then soon, Aaron saying, "I'm the only ones that can pilot both the Loveless and the Strife. It's not that I don't trust any of you, it's just that it can't be piloted by normal means, or by normal people after all. It can only be piloted by somebody that is an Avalanche." And within him keeping the secret that it also can't be piloted unless you have my GP base, which is basically the key for both Gundams. However, Flay recognized this and realized that he's keeping the secret just in case any of them have the idea of taking his Gunpla base as well. Within Cuzzy saying, "Is that so? Man, that's a shame. Shame for you, right, Tola?" Within Cuzzy Tola's gonna up a laugh saying, "Yeah, I guess so. But I have been testing out the Sky Grasper. Possibly I could probably get a chance in that, besides just being the co-heldsman with Mr. Anton after all." Within soon, Sai saying, "You're doing what you can, Tol. That's all that matters." Within soon, Sai basically narrowing his eyes at Aaron. Within, Aaron couldn't help but sigh, realizing that he has tons of glares coming at him, not just from Kira, but also Sai, realizing the fact that Flay has always been around around him instead of, well, him, especially since normally he would be hating on that of Kira having Flay on him. And since Kira still has a crush on that of Flay after all, even though he's technically crushing on one of his friend's fiancés. Yeah, teenage angst is a bitch. With then soon, Aaron saying, "Look, I'm gonna get something to eat. You guys still off duty?" With then Morales saying, "Yeah, we have at least that of 10 more minutes before we have to head back to the bridge." With Toll saying, "True, we do have at least a couple minutes. You think you could tell us about your strife though? I would love to know more about that mobile suit of yours." With then saying, "Maybe a little bit." With soon, as Aaron's about to go and get some food, with then Sai saying, "Flay, why are you always around him?" With then saying, "What's your problem, Sai?" Saying, "My problem is that you're basically spending a lot of time with a guy that barely any of us know." With then Kira clenching his fist saying, "Sai's right, Flay. That guy is dangerous. You shouldn't be with," but then saying, "I could be with whoever I want. And the only reason I care so much is because Mr. Ace has nobody else after all. And plus, let's also bring in the fact that he saved my daddy after all. He saved him from dying the last time I checked." With then soon, Sai saying, "Even so," as Sai basically shouts out in out of a burst. With then soon, Aaron is aware, however, he's keeping it quiet. With then, as he still continues getting his food, as he's just listening to the conversation. With then soon, Kira saying, "Sai," with then looking at the brunette-haired young man. With then soon, Sai sitting down. With then Kira saying, "Flay, Aaron, that guy Ace is not safe. If anything, he doesn't see this war as something in problem. If anything, he just sees this more of a game. He may say he doesn't, and he may say he does this for anything, but he's always keeping secrets. And not only that, he's not telling us everything. How can we trust somebody who doesn't?" Within Sue, Flay saying, "And what about you, Kira? You kept the secret that you've always been a coordinator from us for a couple of years, haven't you?" Within Sue, "How can we know that we can trust you? Not only that, let's bring up the fact that you say that you don't want to fight anymore. that you don't even want to pilot a mobile suit at all, and yet now you're here. Can you say why? But then caught off guard by the question, Kira was completely, stumped, saying, I came back because I wanted to help you guys. I wanted to help you. You say you, with then soon, Flay saying, I appreciate I appreciate all of you coming back to help me, coming back to the Archangel to help me in this endeavor, but I want to say that I didn't need you guys' help. You didn't need to come back. But again, thank you. But I'm also a big girl and I can make my own decisions. And to be honest, I'm still grateful and thankful for everything that Mr. Ace has done, no matter what. With then soon, Aaron saying, so, what are you guys talking about? As Aaron says this with that of a cheeky and somewhat, sarcastic look on his face. As it's basically a look of saying, I'm already aware what you idiots are talking about, but I don't want to bring it up. Within Flay seeing Aaron grab him by his arm saying, come on, Mr. Ace, I don't think you probably want to eat here in the cafeteria right now. With then saying, huh? But with then pulling him away saying, hey, wait, my food is about to spill. With soon leaving that of the cafeteria with soon because he's saying, yikes, I didn't see that coming. With then soon Morales saying, neither did I. Wow, I can really tell Flay has it bad for him. With then soon told saying, wait, you serious? I thought it was just hero worship. Saying, nope. After all, we girls know on how we feel about a guy, after all. How we all feel. With then hearing this, soon Sai couldn't help but clench his fist in that of annoyance. With soon even that of Kira feeling that of annoyed, however, more annoyed at the fact that Flay basically called him out. That the main reason that he came back was not just for Kazi, Sai, Tola, Moralia, but mainly for her, and realizing that all of this is because of Aaron. After that little happening, within soon, Aaron saying, you did that so you would help me out there. With then saying, you already heard all of them, didn't you? With then saying, I heard Sai and Kira. Yeah, both of them don't trust me. Kira, on one hand, because he thinks that I'm basically I enjoy basically killing people when he's just an ignorant brat. Sai, on the other hand, his annoyance is actually kind of justified, to be fair. With then Flay saying, how so? With then Aaron giving her that of a deadpan look, saying, are you serious? Saying, what? Saying, because you're hanging around me 24/7. You could say it's hero worship or anything like that, but let's be frank, you are basically attaching on to me. Heck, when I first came back, you literally kissed me and last time I checked, you're still Sai's fiance, and you're still engaged, are you not? With then soon, Flay saying, just because we are doesn't mean I like him. With then soon, Aaron's eyes wide and saying, what? With then thinking, okay, they never really brought up Sai and Flay's relationship in Seed. If anything, it was just basically a plot point that Kira basically had feelings for Flay, and she was basically destined to marry Sai, and that's it. They didn't really show that they were, mainly a couple. I mean, she attached to him because, again, it was somebody she was familiar with, somebody that she basically knew more than Kira, who was a coordinator. So yeah, that makes sense. But right now, she's basically attaching herself to me, somebody she just knew for that of a month or so. With then she's saying, because I actually like you. With then saying, but you don't know nothing about me. Then let me know you. With then she basically getting really close. With then Aaron having to put his tray of food basically on top of him to make sure that it didn't spill anymore. Saying, hey, Flay. With then filling her breasts up basically pretty much close to his chest. Within Aaron basically blushing, saying, "Damn it, seriously, I am not familiar with stuff like this." With her blushing as well, as she was about to kiss him again, within soon, somebody saying, "Am I interrupting something?" With then, as the familiar voice being Natural, with then soon, Flay saying, "Oh, Lieutenant Badgerel," I saying, "Listen, Mr. Ace may not be part of the Alliance military, but you are a soldier of the Alliance. Fraternization like this, and that of work hour, and that of time like this, isn't necessary." With then soon, she's saying, "Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am." With then soon, Aaron basically scratching his head with while still holding his food, saying, "Look, Lieutenant Natural, I need to apologize too. I mean, we were talking and things got," then saying, "Save it. I don't want to hear it." Within soon saying, "Still, I really am sorry." With soon, she walking away and heading back to the bridge while still clenching her fists at the same time as well. With then soon, Aaron and Flay heading back to his quarters. With then, after that, let's just say their relationship as that of casual friends, where Flay cares more about Aaron as that of a hero. Aaron's starting to see her as somebody close to him, somebody that keeps him calm, to be honest, keeps him grounded, to be fair. With then, soon, another day has now passed, and he's still continually basically doing that as simulations over and over. With then, soon, going through that of one of the communications, within seeing that of Murdoch, saying, "Yo, Chief Murdoch, what is it? You've been in the cockpit for basically for many hours straight. Think you need a break for the past couple of weeks?" Within saying, "Who knows what we're going to be coming in contact with? I like to be prepared for the Desert Tiger, if you don't mind me, Chief." Within saying, "All right, work yourself to bone. I don't care, kid. But just make sure you don't worry the rest of the crew." With then saying, "I'm guessing he's talking about Flay. She's definitely waiting outside of me, outside of the strife again." Saying, Sure. Thanks for telling me, Chief. Over and out." With then finishing up another simulation, he opens up the cockpit door saying, "Thanks for the," with then realizing that instead of it being that of, well, Flay, it was actually Natural. With then saying, "Here, I figure you might need this." With then saying, "Thanks. I appreciate it, Lieutenant." With then saying, I thought for sure Flay would. She's still on duty. I made sure of that, to be honest." With then saying, "Well, guess you were kind of pissy about that." "Well, makes sense since you are a strict military woman, to be fair." With then soon Badger saying, just because I come from a strict military family background, that doesn't mean I don't know on how to relax." With then soon Aaron feeling like he was about to choke on his water as he coughs. With then soon she's saying, What happened? Are you saying, "No, it's all right. It's just, I'm shocked. This is coming from you, the woman who's strictly business when it comes to the Atlantic Federation. I mean, your whole family is composed of basically people who are loyal to the Atlantic more than anything, given their years of decorated service." With then Narrow saying, "It is true. I am. And my family is. We serve the Atlantic Federation for generations, and I will continue to serve them as well." Saying, "Still, the way that you say that you're basically that you know what it means to have fun and relax, I'm still caught off guard about that." Within Natural blushing, however, it's a light blush that can barely be seen unless you get really close to her. Within she's saying, "It's because, listen, I may be a decorated soldier that's loyal to the Alliance, but I am still human after all. I'm not always just a soldier, and that's it." With then Aaron still caught off guard, with then realizing, that would make a lot of sense. I mean, the anime basically showed her as basically a stick in the ass military soldier who cares more about protocol and rules over basically following her heart and her gut. When all soldier that not everything goes quite to plan after all. With then Aaron saying, "I guess so. I guess I just saw you as this hard-case soldier when, well, you got people like that of Natterol who's flexible on bending the rules a little bit if it means keeping everybody alive. And then you got people like Moo who's pretty laid back as hell, but is one hell of a pilot. So I figured," with Sid saying, "Just because I'm nothing like them doesn't mean I can't cut loose from time to time. Don't judge a book by their cover." With then soon. Now, Aaron saying, "Oh, trust me, I won't. I think I'm done with doing stuff like that nowadays." With then soon. She's saying, "Well then, I hope that you can take at least a couple time off. You don't need to be in your mobile suit training constantly." With then saying, "True, but again, this is the Desert Tiger, so I figured," saying, "take some time off. You may not be a soldier of the Alliance, but you're still a part of this crew. It wouldn't be best to have somebody like you exhausted all the time, especially when we contact. So," saying, "Roger that. I get where you're coming from." With then having that a salute to that of Natterol. Within, she couldn't help but smile for a bit before it went back to her neutral frown as always. With then walking away. Within, Aaron couldn't help but look down, looking at her butt. Within, soon realizing, wait, is she swaying her hips? Or I'm just imagining it. With then blushing, realizing, nah, just probably imagining it. With then getting his mind out of the gutter. Within soon, Aaron saying, I wonder, when the hell is Andrew Welfelt going to attack the tassel? It's been, a couple days now? What's going on? With then, speaking of that certain situation, currently right now, Shiro, alongside that of Melanie, is currently at Andrew Welfelt's HQ, and that of the major city in town of the Northern Territories. Within, soon Andrew saying, "You want me to not attack Tassel? I'm asking you not to attack Tassel, as that of a fellow soldier and a fellow commander as well." Saying, "You do know that's where the Desert Dawn are at." Within saying, "I am aware." Saying, "So, within soon." Shiro saying, "Because we've been working hard to build a healthy and more better relationship with the natives of these people. We get that some of them are against, Zaf being here, but they were already against that of the Alliance being here either. So why should we have to play nice with them?" With then, soon, Shiro was about to explain. Within, Melanie soon speaks up saying, "Commander, I understand how you feel, especially given that I did see the reports. They did interrupt your battle with that of the legged ship, or I should say archangel, in the strike. But then, however, they were more of a nuisance than actually helping them, to be honest. If anything, the reports say that the newest mobile suit that entered the battlefield, being, as we've decided to call it, that of Omega 2, was the one who destroyed your forces even more than that of the strike. And it was just over 10 units, 5 Bukus and 5 Gins were destroyed. I think it's best that we look over the combat data that we were given by Ensign Sabrina and Ensign Jill." With then soon Welfelt basically listening to Commander Izuyoi's lieutenant. Within, he couldn't help but say, all right, fine, we'll let it be for now, at least for today. However, if they cause any more trouble or do any more attacks onto us, I won't hold back. I understand that you're basically wanting to build a relationship between the native people outside of the desert and those here in the city as well, but it's not going to be that easily, and you know this, Commander." With then, soon, Shiro saying, well, making peace. Nobody did say making peace was easy. It's always the hardest step. With then, after saying that, the two members of the White Fang soon disappear as soon leaving. As soon as the door closes, Andrew Welfelt couldn't help but take that of a long, deep sigh of that of annoyance and exhaustion. But then DaCosta saying, I still think it's ridiculous. Ridiculous that we would have to not fight back after all the men we lost. Saying, but then Aisha speaking up saying, true, but I do see where Shiro's coming from. I think we were given this territory for a reason, not just for occupation, but it was also because we need to build relations. Don't you agree, Andy? With then, Andrew couldn't help but sigh once more, saying, if you're the one who brought this up, I wouldn't, hate it. But if you agree with it, I'll at least try and see it out. Try and see this out. If this plan of hers to basically to extend an olive branch to all of the villages out here in the desert. However, if it doesn't work, my promise to her be damned. Those people need to learn to know their place, not to get involved in war and battles that they have no need to be involved in. As he says this with that of a stern look and words of conviction in his tone. Back at the Archangel, currently right now, Aaron is heading to that of the bridge, with then soon seeing that of Narumi and the rest of the other Heliopolis gang as well, with Zai seeing Aaron and basically glaring at him before going back to his monitor. Within Narumi seeing that of Aaron, within saying, I didn't think I would see you here, Ace. Saying, yeah, sorry. I was just a little curious and also wondering as well. With then Narumi looking at the young mercenary, our gun pilot, within saying, about what? Within Aaron saying, you want me to say it, or should I talk to you in private about this? Within Narumi basically looking at Aaron with a few other of the crew looking back at the mercenary kid, saying, if it's really important, maybe, but if it's not for anyone else's ears and for only mine, then saying, personally, not really. It's just more of an opinion, to be honest, since it hasn't happened. Within Narumi saying, then all means speak. With soon saying that, Aaron saying, it's weird. The desert tiger hasn't attacked us for the past 3 days, which is starting to put me on edge for a little bit. With then soon hearing that, Moo comes in saying, so I wasn't the only one basically keeping on. So I wasn't the only one thinking that at the same time. Within looking at the blonde-haired, mobile armor pilot. Care to speak up as you can, kid? Because your opinion might be the same as mine. Within Aaron looking at Moo and saying, the desert tiger Andrew Welfelt, the desert tiger would have definitely attacked Tassel by now, or possibly attacked the Desert Dawn to set a message. With then soon Narumi saying, is that so? If that's the case, we need to. No, that's the thing. The reason being, Andrew Welfelt's the kind of guy to attack a town, but warn the people that he's going to attack, allowing both the women and children and the non-combatants to leave. Well, then burning down the town, leaving them at least some supplies, enough to basically rebuild. That's the kind of person he is, especially when it comes to, radicals interfering in his battle. He's just that kind of guy. With then hearing that, Toll saying, whoa, damn, I didn't expect that. That's pretty hardcore. With then soon, because he's saying, yeah, it's actually kind of scary to burn down a person's home just like that without even breaking sweat and forcing the people to watch. As Flay was about to comment, within Aaron saying, Cuzzy, that's not the issue. He wasn't going to warn them and force them to watch him burn down their town. He was trying to warn them so he wouldn't have to risk killing innocent people who don't want to get involved in fighting. With then hearing that, the rest of the crew were caught off guard hearing this. Within another voice coming in, within it being Kira saying, "You know quite a bit about the guy. It almost sounds like you know him personally." Within everybody caught off guard seeing the coordinator pilot. Within even Aaron surprised saying, "I think, okay, this is weird. Kira has never been on the bridge of the Archangel before. He's always been in his damn room or in the cafeteria or even that of the hangar. So why the hell, or even that of the waiting room. So why the hell?" Within soon shaking his head saying, "Yeah, I don't know him personally, but again, many of my mentors who were once part of Avalanche, but now dead, told me much about the guy. He's not he may have the mentality of that of a warrior, a true soldier through and through, but he's not a heartless killer that basically enjoys seeing people suffer. He's just a person that doesn't like to see people who don't have any right to be on the battlefield basically fight. To him, he thinks the Desert Dawn are nothing but a nuisance." Within hearing this, Kira's saying, "Yeah, I could see that. But this is their home. This is their homeland. They have the right to fight for it after all." Within soon, Aaron basically sighing. With soon, Moo saying, "Kira, about that, they do have the right to fight, but..." Within soon, Aaron saying, "Okay then, if they had the right to fight, why the hell didn't they fight the Earth Alliance when the Earth Alliance was in charge of this territory?" With then, soon after hearing this, everybody looking at the tan-skinned young man. With then, soon, Kira saying, "What? But they were never... The Earth Alliance weren't their allies. The Eurasian forces just as much as occupied this territory, just as Zaft has, alongside Andrew Welfelt has, too. Not only that, let's also bring in the fact that the alliance here all wanted to make this place a lot more, well, presentable, to be honest, given that the guy was basically supposedly from a noble house and the Eurasian Federation. They could have fought back then. They could have stand up to them back then, and hell, they would have had the materials to even do so, since even then, the Alliance didn't have access to mobile suits. Sure, they still had mobile armors, but that could have been taken care of easily. But no, they didn't. Instead, when Andrew Welfelt, alongside the White Fang guy here, took down the Eurasian forces, took over that at the Gibraltar base, alongside the territories all around here, they want to fight. Now they want to basically take back their homeland. Why now? Especially that Zaf has more of the superior advantage over them than they think. Especially since mobile suits are a lot more powerful. Sure, they found ways to basically, bring them down, but they haven't found ways to destroy them properly. I believe the only reason that they're starting to fight back now is because they're tired of being used, when in fact they should have fought back earlier when they know that they had a winning chance. Now they're basically grasping for straws, and they're even taking more of the advantage because we're here. If anything, the Desert Dawn are using us more than we're using them. And that's one of the other reasons on why Andrew Welfelt is wanting to take them down. Or rather, I believe he wants to take them down, set them as an example for any other village and town that basically goes against Zaft in his core. But like I said before, he's not a murderer. He doesn't like to kill innocent people. With then soon, Kira saying, "All right then, what if you're all right about this? What if he does attack? But what if you're wrong though too? What if he doesn't warn any of the innocent people about his attack and he just does it? How do you know that then?" Because then soon, Aaron clenching his fist saying, "You're right, maybe I don't. But neither do you either. You don't even know the guy as well." With then soon, Kira saying, "Right, yeah, maybe not. But at least I know your damn type to basically use people after all. With Vince, soon, Aaron saying, "You little shit." With then soon, Moo getting in between the two of them saying, "All right, enough, both of you. This isn't the time for this, especially not on the bridge. Kira, get in line and stop letting your emotions over Aaron cloud your judgment." Within Kira saying, "But Commander, that's an order, Ensign." With then soon, Kira saying, "Yes, sir." With then soon, Kira looking at Flay as she soon goes back to her monitor. Before then, he walks out of the bridge. With then soon, everybody looking at Aaron saying, "What?" With then soon, Moo saying, "You didn't really do much," basically egging on the kid, saying, "I was not trying to egg him on. I was literally trying to speak my mind. Still, we need to keep an eye out for freaking Welfelt. The guy is not going to just sit back and let the disrespect about that of a couple days ago just go so easily. Or better yet, he may be just building up his forces after showing up with both the Strife and the Loveless. He's not just going to just take everything with just a grain of salt." With then soon, Narumi saying, "I'll take your words with advice. I'll also go and tell Sahi and Mr. Morikumo about what you said as well. Hopefully they'll take your words with advices too, alongside Miss Atha too." With then Aaron saying, "Hopefully, but I wouldn't put it past them." With then after saying that, Aaron soon leaves. But then Flay looking at Aaron with her basically waving, but then Aaron couldn't help but smile too before leaving the bridge. With then Narumi couldn't help but sigh, saying, "I didn't think I'd have to deal with teenage drama on this ship as being captain." With then Moo couldn't help but say, we do have more of a crew of teenagers instead of the typical age, so I guess it can't be helped." Within, Narumi couldn't help but smile at, Moo trying to make light of the situation, before then telling everybody to get back to their stations and focus. With then, Aaron couldn't help but say, I need to figure out something. If Andrew Welfelt is preparing for an attack, I need to prepare, especially for when I'm going to meet the guy, because I know I am. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, I think some of you may be wondering, why didn't I leave off on that of the last chapter with introducing a couple characters back into the present time in the real world, or the original world, I should say. But I'll bring that up in the next chapter, to be honest. Honestly, I wanted to bring up the fact about the shit that Seed basically does a lot, and that being, basically the teenage drama wrapped behind that of a war story. And I'm going to make this abundantly clear. This is the last time I'm bringing up the teenage shit in this story. This is going to be the one and only chapter where that shit basically becomes a thing. It's going to be back to the original tales of war and the reasons of fight, and also the meaning behind conflict and war as a whole. So, yeah, back to good old Gundam. And maybe a dash of romance love stories in the middle as well, just so to spice things up. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date with my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, check out my Discord, gaming channel, main channel, Patreon, and Cash App, all linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and I hope you all take care.